the entire auto industry is being rocked by the shocking revelation that Jeep just made. This isn't just a business having trouble, it's a catastrophic industry-wide event that nobody anticipated. Jeep is on the verge of disaster due to its declining sales and shocking layoffs. The decisions are contentious, the numbers are devastating, and what are the ramifications? Incredibly significant for buyers, employees, and the industry as a whole. However, how did Jeep, one of the most recognizable brands in America, get into such a bad place? What has gone wrong, and how is everything going to blow up? Above all, how does this affect you personally? Let's examine the whole mess. What precisely took place? Jeep, a company known for its spirit of adventure, toughness, and American roots, is currently embroiled in a crisis that it created. For many years, Jeep was the preferred vehicle for people looking for off-road capability and tough dependability. However, recent actions taken by Jeep's parent company, Stellantis, have rocked the automotive industry. Stellantis' financial performance over the previous 6 months was the first sign of trouble. The numbers are startling, a nearly 50% drop in profits and a startling 42% drop in stock value when compared to the same period last year. These are stark warning signs of an imminent collapse, not just red flags. The issue is evident in the endless lines of unsold Jeeps on dealership lots around the nation. Sales of the Gladiator, formerly a standout model in Jeep's lineup, have dropped by 21% due to price tags that are getting out of reach for the majority of buyers. Even the venerable Wrangler and Grand Cherokee models are having trouble finding buyers. The issue of pricing. The pricing strategy of Jeep is one of its biggest problems. Jeep has made an effort in recent years to establish itself as a luxury brand by charging top dollar for cars like the Grand Wagoneer, which can cost over $100,000. Jeep's primary selling points have always been affordability and toughness, even though luxury pricing may be effective for companies with well-established high-end reputations. Consider the Gladiator as an illustration. The manufacturer's suggested retail price for a 24 Gladiator Rubicon approaching $70,000, and that's before taxes and other costs. $55,000 is the starting price for even the base Sport S trim. These prices are just not in line with a market that is becoming more and more concerned with affordability. However, volume is just as important as price. Due to Stellantis' overproduction of cars, there is a significant backlog in inventory. Unsold Jeeps are clogging dealership lots, and the issue is only becoming worse. This translates into a plethora of short-term discounts and incentives for customers. But the financial burden of unsold inventory is getting to be too much for Stellantis. Stellantis has taken drastic steps to address the glut, such as reducing production plant shifts and terminating hundreds of employees. Layoffs have affected more than 400 workers at the Detroit River Yard plant alone. These actions draw attention to how serious the situation is and cast doubt on Stellantis' capacity to bounce back. The effect of ripples. Jeep's problems affect not only the business but also customers, employees, and the auto industry at large. The current circumstances might appear to buyers as a chance to get a Jeep at a discounted price. However, over time, the company's instability might result in more expensive and limited options. The plant closures and layoffs are devastating for the employees. The jobs that Stellantis created are essential to entire communities, and the economic fallout from these layoffs will be felt globally. Jeep's problems also serve as a warning to the industry about the risks of misestimating market trends and customer demand. Jeep's crisis of identity. Bad luck or unfavorable market conditions are not the only causes of Jeep's current difficulties. They have their roots in strategic errors made by Jeep's parent company, Stellantis. Due to these errors in judgment, Jeep is no longer in line with its basic values and, more significantly, with its devoted clientele. This is an example of how a brand can become lost if it misunderstands its audience and market. Jeep was known for its off-road capability and rugged durability for many years. Providing cars that could handle any terrain and endure the worst conditions was more important than luxury or high-end features. With its straightforward styling and legendary past, the Jeep Wrangler came to represent freedom and adventure. However, in its quest for larger margins and a more upscale image, Stellantis appears to have forgotten this ethos. Stellantis has worked hard in the last few years to reposition Jeep as a luxury brand. Price tags for new models like the Grand Wagoneer are competitive with those of well-known luxury brands like Mercedes-Benz and BMW. Even though the Grand Wagoneer has a luxurious interior and impressive features, many of its configurations cost more than $100,000. This change is startling and alienating for a company like Jeep, which established its reputation on tough simplicity and accessibility. At the same time, price increases have made Jeep's more reasonably priced models unaffordable for a large number of customers. For instance, the Jeep Gladiator used to be hailed as a useful and adaptable pickup truck. Even the base Sport S trim starts at more than $55,000, and a new Gladiator Rubicon can now cost nearly $75,000. For comparison, These costs are getting close to those of high-end trucks like the GMC Sierra Denali and the Ford F-150 Limited. What is Jeep attempting to compete with, and at what price? The effects of excessive pricing. The repercussions of a company's poor pricing strategy are extensive. Jeep's choice. Its decision to position its cars as luxury goods has presented its dealerships with serious difficulties. Numerous lots in the U.S. are occupied by unsold Jeeps. The abundance of inventory, which includes fleets of Grand Cherokees and rows of Jeep Gladiators, serves as a clear reminder of Stellantis' error in judgment. Despite aggressive discounts and incentives, dealerships are having trouble moving these cars. The perceived value is the issue, not just the cost. When paying luxury prices, consumers anticipate luxury experiences and features. Even though Jeep cars are well equipped, they lack the prestige of luxury brands like Audi or Range Rover. Consequently, prospective purchasers are searching elsewhere. Stellantis has been forced to take extreme action due to this inventory glut. Layoffs and production shift reductions are regrettably becoming the norm. More than 400 employees have lost their jobs in Detroit alone, and more are anticipated as Stellantis attempts to strike a balance between production and customer demand. These choices harm Jeep's reputation, in addition to causing pain for the impacted employees. A brand that formerly stood for fortitude and tenacity now seems weak and outdated. Customer attitude. Jeep's production and pricing problems are just one aspect of the problem. The decline in customer loyalty and trust is another important factor. In the past, Jeep's clientele has always been extremely devoted. Wrangler and Cherokee owners frequently view their cars as extensions of who they are, and the brand has built a devoted following via off-road excursions, community gatherings, and a feeling of purpose. But this allegiance is being put to the test. Jeep's traditional customers are left questioning whether the brand still reflects their values as it enters the luxury market. Both the high price tags and the change in emphasis serve as deterrents. Jeep enthusiasts prefer a tough, dependable car that they can drive off-road without fear of scuffing the paint, or breaking expensive features rather than necessarily wanting a luxury SUV. The growing competition in the truck and SUV markets makes this disparity worse. Subaru, Ford, and even Toyota are taking advantage of Jeep's identity crisis by providing cars that are more in line with consumer preferences. For instance, the Subaru Outback and Toyota 4Runner offer off-road capabilities without the high price tag, and Ford's Bronco has effectively encapsulated the spirit of adventure that Jeep appears to be eschewing. The strategy of Stellantis examined. Chief Executive Officer Carlos Tavares' leadership of Stellantis is coming under heavy fire for how it has handled Jeep's difficulties. The figures are self-evident. Over the last 6 months, Stellantis' stock has fallen 42%, and its profits have decreased by almost 50% when compared to the same time last year. These are signs of a company in crisis, not merely passing fancies. A basic query at the heart of this issue is whether Stellantis is aware of the Jeep brand and its position in the market. The company's European leadership team, according to critics, is out of step with the American automotive scene. Stellantis has been charged with overestimating the allure of a luxury-focused approach and undervaluing the significance of Jeep's heritage. Tavares has made audacious claims about reducing expenses and looking into every avenue to boost the business's bottom line. These actions haven't yet produced any significant outcomes, though. Rather, they have fostered an environment of ambiguity and instability. Employee morale is being damaged by layoffs, production reductions, and the threat of plant closures, which is also making investors skeptical. The more comprehensive background. The difficulties facing Jeep are occurring against the backdrop of more general economic difficulties. Consumers now find it more difficult to afford expensive goods like cars due to rising interest rates and inflation. Schedules for production and delivery are also still impacted by supply chain interruptions. All of the automotive industry is being impacted by these factors, but Jeep is particularly vulnerable due to its unique set of difficulties. The trend in consumer preferences toward more reasonably priced and fuel-efficient automobiles is one of the biggest pressures, with consumers prioritizing functionality over luxury. The era of enormous profit margins on big SUVs and trucks may be coming to an end. Additionally, the market is changing as more buyers seek out eco-friendly options thanks to electric vehicles. With models like the plug-in hybrid Wrangler 4xe, Jeep has made significant progress in the electric vehicle market. These initiatives, though, haven't been sufficient to counteract the brand's more general difficulties. Despite its innovation, the 4X is still very expensive, making it out of reach for most consumers. Stellantis' financial burden is further increased by the substantial infrastructure and technological investments needed to make the switch to EVs, a crucial point for Jeep. Jeep faces many obstacles on its path ahead, but there are also opportunities. The parent company of Jeep, Stellantis, is at a turning point in its history. where strategic choices will determine whether the brand can recover its previous splendor or continue to decline into obscurity. Jeep needs to address a number of important problems head-on and rethink its future in the rapidly changing automotive industry if it hopes to bounce back. Jeep has the chance and the challenge to rethink its position in the auto industry at this particular moment. Jeep has always been known for its dependability, adventure, and ruggedness. Because of these features, it became popular with both off-road enthusiasts and sensible purchasers. Jeep needs to get back on track with these principles. Many of Jeep's regular customers have become disenchanted with the company's move to market itself as a luxury brand because they believe that the high costs and upscale features go against what Jeep stands for. Its fans are perplexed by this change and are beginning to doubt the brand's adherence to its adventurous beginnings. In order to reflect its origins, the brand needs to realign its messaging and product offerings. The Jeep Wrangler and other, reasonably priced, capable cars should continue to be at the forefront of the lineup, honoring the brand's history as vehicles built for exploration and adventure. By doing this, Jeep can win back the trust and allegiance of its core market while also attracting new clients who prefer sincerity to luxury. Jeep's reputation as the go-to brand for adventure will be restored with the return of its tough, useful appeal. Resolving issues with pricing and inventory. Jeep's pricing is one of its biggest problems. The current lineup of the brand is priced in a range that frequently rivals that of luxury cars, but it lacks the premium cachet and prestige of those brands. There is a gap between perception and value, because models like the Grand Wagoneer and Gladiator are significantly more expensive than the typical Jeep buyer anticipates. Jeep's reputation has suffered greatly as a result of this disconnect, which has alienated devoted customers and failed to draw in new customers who demand genuine luxury at the price. Stellantis needs to take a more calculated approach to pricing in order to address this. Offering models that accommodate different price points without sacrificing Jeep's rugged appeal is preferable to drastically cutting prices across the board. While premium trims can accommodate those who are prepared to pay more for additional luxury and technology, entry-level trims with useful features should be prioritized. Jeep maintains accessibility while providing options for customers looking for more upscale features thanks to this tiered approach. A careful balancing act between premium and affordable options will aid in the brand's recovery. The abundance of inventory on dealership lots is one of the most obvious indicators of Jeep's difficulties. Stellantis's errors are glaringly evident in the rows of unsold Gladiators, Grand Cherokees, and other models. Reducing production alone won't solve this problem. A thorough overhaul of inventory management is needed. Sales are impacted, but so is consumer perception, which makes the brand seem overmade and unappealing. The acceptance of electrification. Jeep cannot afford to fall behind as the automotive industry rapidly transitions to electric vehicles. Jeep's future in this market cannot be guaranteed by the Wrangler 4X plug-in hybrid and other electrified models, despite their promising performance. Jeep needs to increase the number of electric vehicles in its lineup, while tackling adoption obstacles like exorbitant prices and inadequate charging infrastructure if it wants to stay competitive. Jeep must, however, approach electrification in a manner consistent with its brand identity. Jeep's electric models need to demonstrate the capability and durability that its customers value. Jeep needs to make sure that its electric cars can function in the same conditions where conventional models do well, whether that is through tough electric SUVs or creative hybrid solutions. To stay ahead of the competition, Jeep needs to adopt additional innovative strategies in addition to electrification. Jeep can improve its products in the following areas: enhanced fuel efficiency, connected car technology, and advanced safety features. But rather than taking away from the brand's tough appeal, these innovations ought to enhance it. For example, adding off-road navigation systems, improved suspension, and modular designs could give Jeep owners new outdoor exploration options, while preserving the brand's spirit of adventure. In a crowded market, Jeep can set itself apart from rivals by concentrating on innovations that appeal to its target market. Restoring customer confidence. Regaining the trust of its customers is arguably Jeep's biggest challenge. The many Jeep fans are disillusioned due to a combination of high prices, inventory problems, and a perceived departure from the company's core values. Rebuilding trust necessitates a multidimensional strategy that extends beyond goods. Jeep needs to interact with its community on a personal level, pay attention to criticism, and take proactive measures to resolve issues. Jeep can re-engage its audience by organizing off-road events, collaborating with conservation projects, and developing loyalty schemes, to name a few. Gaining trust will also be greatly aided by openness regarding future plans, production choices, and pricing. Jeep's problems are not unique to the company. The situation is being made worse by broader economic and industry-wide issues like inflation, growing interest rates, and supply chain interruptions. Stellantis has to handle these problems while maintaining her attention on Jeep's recuperation. This involves figuring out how to cut production costs without compromising quality, which might ease pressure on prices and increase supply. Jeep's dedication to adapting to the times will also be shown by its dedication to innovation in both product offerings and the customer experience. Leveraging Jeep's widespread appeal is one possible strategy. Although the brand has difficulties in the US, there are growth prospects due to its global reach. Sales could be given a much-needed boost by entering emerging markets or concentrating more on areas where Jeep already has a significant presence. Jeep can improve its standing in a cutthroat and changing automotive market with a modern strategy that highlights the company's history and prospects. Extended sustainability. Jeep needs to plan for long-term sustainability rather than just short-term recovery. This entails anticipating future changes in addition to adjusting to current market trends. Jeep needs to present itself as a company that can change with the times without losing its core values. Whether that change is due to the emergence of autonomous driving, stricter environmental laws, or shifting consumer preferences, it's critical to keep up with technological developments like electric powertrains and AI integration. In order to appeal to a wider spectrum of consumers, from those looking for environmentally friendly options to those seeking rugged performance, Jeep should also think about expanding its product lineup. Sustainability programs that increase vehicle efficiency or use recycled materials in manufacturing could also increase Jeep's appeal to eco-aware buyers. Instead of being merely token gestures, these initiatives must be sincere and incorporated into the brand's identity. Customers are growing more discriminating and expect brands to live up to their sustainability pledges, particularly with regard to production methods and recycling of end-of-life vehicles. Jeep faces many obstacles as it looks to the future, but there are also many opportunities. Although Stellantis, the parent company of Jeep, is in a dire situation right now, it's also an opportunity for innovation. Jeep can weather these tumultuous times and come out stronger by appealing to the changing values of its clientele and maintaining its position as the industry leader in SUVs and off-road vehicles with careful planning and swift action. Resolving price inconsistencies. Jeep's pricing strategy is among its most urgent problems. Due to the brand's efforts to establish itself as a luxury player, many potential customers cannot afford the products. Although Jeep's rugged and adventurous image has been embodied by models like the Wrangler and Gladiator, their high price tags now put them in direct competition with high-end automobiles from well-known luxury brands. For many devoted Jeep fans who may respect the brand's history but believe the price is excessive, this misalignment has created a barrier. Stellantis needs to adjust its pricing strategy and strike a balance between accessible and aspirational in order to address this. Jeep can continue to, by providing a greater variety of trim levels for every model, it maintains its adventurous appeal without offending its core clientele. Budget-conscious buyers would be drawn to more reasonably priced base trims, while those who are prepared to pay for premium features could still be served by higher-end models. Targeted incentives, like financing offers, trade-in bonuses, or seasonal discounts may also help close the gap and increase the appeal of Jeep models to a wider market. Jeep has the chance to reclaim its status as a popular, approachable brand for both new and returning customers by adopting a more inclusive pricing strategy. The company may also think about adding more entry-level models to its lineup, giving customers more choices without compromising on performance or quality. This wider selection may encourage rekindled patronage and increase foot traffic to dealerships. Changing to meet customer preferences. Eco-friendly and technologically advanced automobiles are attracting more and more modern buyers. Jeep has shown promise in its electrification efforts with vehicles like the Wrangler 4X plug-in hybrid, but more work needs to be done by the company to stay competitive. SUVs and hybrids that are entirely electric while maintaining Jeep's tough heritage should be part of the future lineup. Performance, range, and off-road capability are essential for these cars to appeal to both new and devoted Jeep buyers. It's also critical to respond to complaints regarding quality and dependability. Jeep's reputation has been damaged by problems like expensive repairs and frequent recalls. Rebuilding trust and increasing customer loyalty may be achieved by prioritizing durability and investing in quality control. A more serious issue with Stellantis's production and distribution methods is reflected in the abundance of unsold inventory on dealership lots. The Jeep brand is primarily represented by its dealers, whose problems with overstocked lots and sluggish sales are a sign of misaligned corporate priorities. Stellantis needs to communicate with dealers more openly and include them in decision-making. Procedures. These problems might be resolved by an inventory management system that adjusts to local market demands, flexible production schedules, and a responsive supply chain. Additionally, Reducing the production of less popular models while providing incentives to dealerships to move older stock could lessen the strain on them. Innovation and legacy in balance. For any automaker, innovation is essential, but for Jeep, it must be balanced with reverence for the brand's history. Jeep's greatest strength is its reputation as a tough, trustworthy, and adventurous brand. Future developments in infotainment, autonomous driving, or electrification must strengthen rather than weaken this identity. This will draw in new customers, searching for cutting-edge technology while assisting Jeep in retaining its current base of devoted customers. The difficulty is in smoothly incorporating these innovations without sacrificing the brand's dedication to adventure and toughness. For example, adding cutting-edge off-road features to electric vehicles or creating intelligent navigation systems for daring drivers would be in keeping with Jeep's history, while also appealing to tech-savvy consumers. Jeep needs to steer clear of following fads that don't appeal to its target market. The brand will prosper while remaining loyal to its origins if the spirit of adventure is maintained in all new developments. Jeep's worldwide appeal provides a bright spot despite its difficulties in the US. In regions like Europe and Asia, where demand for SUVs is still rising, Jeep is well represented. Jeep can take advantage of these opportunities by adapting its products to local tastes. For example, European consumers may prefer smaller, more fuel-efficient models, whereas developing markets may prefer tougher, more durable automobiles. In order to provide customers with a consistent experience across the globe, Jeep must also make sure that its global operations complement its overall brand identity. This will guarantee that Jeep's standing as a world leader in SUVs is maintained, getting ready for changes in the economy and industry. The automotive landscape is changing as a result of both industry-wide and economic factors, including the move toward electrification and rising fuel prices. Jeep needs to be ready to adjust to these changes while maintaining its core values. During this time of transition, Jeep will be able to meet the varied needs of its customers by providing a range of internal combustion, hybrid, and electric vehicles. Additionally, emphasizing sustainability initiatives, like lowering emissions across its fleet or using recycled materials in manufacturing, could increase Jeep's appeal to customers who care about the environment. Possibly the biggest obstacle is getting Jeep's customers to trust the company again. The brand needs to interact with its community in a proactive manner. Pay attention to what customers have to say and show that you appreciate them. Proposals, such as expanded warranty coverage, open recall communication, and specialized customer service channels may have a big impact. Jeep can use partnerships and events to capitalize on its devoted fan base. In addition to enhancing Jeep's adventurous image, off-road rallies, conservation initiatives, and community-building events would improve the company's rapport with its clientele. The way ahead. Jeep is at a turning point in its history, and Stellantis' choices today will impact the direction the brand takes for years to come. The business needs to find a balance between dealing with its current issues and getting ready for a sustainable future. Jeep can maintain its position as a leader in the automotive sector by embracing innovation while remaining loyal to its heritage. What do you believe Jeep's future holds? Will the brand change and prosper, or is it past its prime? We would like to know what you think. Do you think Jeep can successfully strike a balance between its history and the needs of a market that is changing? Leave your thoughts in the space provided below, and together, let's talk about this recognizable brand's future. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the upcoming video.